What's up, guys? It's your boy Baboon Booty Meat back at it again with another comic book review. Today we're doing Spawn 294 as well as 295. Had to hit you with that Virgin cover, you know. Let's get right into it. I'm not gonna waste no time. Dope cover art as always. Show it to you again. Bam, amazing. Gotta say, Image Comics got some really good quality when it comes to making these comic books. The art is always on point. Always gotta say something about the art whenever I do a review. Don't know if you guys can see that, but I gotta give the credits. Written by Todd McFarlane. Art by Jason. Oh, we got a new artist, Jason Sean Alexander. Jason Sean Alexander. Yeah, I didn't even notice. We got a different artist. But yeah, this one obviously starts where the last one took off. Spawn told the whole world in front of the little protest that he is Al Simmons, and that he told them about the angels and the demons and heaven and hell, and he said that he's here to save their souls, and that just made everybody flip out. Like, I mean, people were flipping out about straws, turtles deep throating straw. I can't get enough of those ads on Instagram. So I can only imagine how bad people would freak out if something like this happened. People are going off. They got their cell phones out taking pictures, obviously. Mr. Simmons, are you an American? You said, what are you? You know, all those crazy questions. I love that. Adds a little bit of soul in the comic book. Always appreciate that. Yeah, that's the first page. People freaking out, asking Al what's going on. Of course, the cops are going to show up. In the narrative, there was a little bit of detail. Fun fact, Spawn weighs 800 pounds. So Spawn is being apprehended by the authorities, and they're pushing him, and they can't budge him. And it says Spawn doesn't budge, and they can't move his 800-pound frame. So he's a big boy. Al is a big boy. Also here, still at the protest, apparently you get a little bit of, is that exposition? I don't know if this is exposition, but you get an example of how his powers work. This is foreshadowing. Actually, this is what this is. This is foreshadowing. So it says here, okay, the only way he can travel is through the shadows. His chains create that portal. So here's that page. Spawn is at the protest. He's trying to get home. And he could apparently teleport. But I knew he's one of those superheroes that has every power. But I guess he can only like teleport in the shadows. Makes sense. Give him some limitations. He can't just take off just like that. You know, he in the strip club, baby mama come in, boom. Nah, you gotta be in the dark. Gotta be in the dark. That's the only way the shit works. But yeah, so at the protest, makes a shadow, disappears. He's home, brooding, doing what Spawn does. We flip over. There's these news. These Spawn comics do these little news segments. I'm not gonna lie to you. I read it when I first read it. Then I read the comic book again for this review. I didn't read the news. It's not important. It's just some extra stuff that they like to put in. But the news clippings, I did try to read. And it's in, like, I believe it's gibberish. But I'm going to actually go into Google. And I'm going to type this in and see if anything translates. But, yeah. Got your news people here. Got your news articles. The businessmen, the angels and the demons are meeting. Spawn fucked shit up with his little stunt that he pulled. They're pissed. People are quitting. They're losing money, which they're losing power because they're losing money. Time, it's something Al Simmons has mostly squandered since the day he first became Spawn. Thinking he could just push things away until they left him alone, but they didn't. They never left him alone. Instead, they sent a constant barrage of demonic servants to poke and prod him to accept his fate. So, I mean, I guess that's why he's always crying in the alleyways. So fast forward, Spawn is in the alley, and the clown shows up, the Violator. Now, if you're a long-time Spawn fan, if you're not a long-time Spawn fan and you saw the 1997 movie, then you know who the clown is, played by, I forget his name. I'll probably put it in the description or something. Probably not, but I mean, y'all can look it up. The clown, he's here. And I gotta say, the movie was terrible, but the actor who played him did a great job. But it still doesn't do justice to how he is in the comic books, because in the comic books, he's just a dirtbag. He is just the biggest piece of shit that you want to scrape this guy off the bottom of your foot. He's so sleazy, but he's here, and he's telling Spawn again. I mean, really, how many times are we gonna do this? You sit and brood, I come, kick your ass, I leave. So they have this little thing with kind of like Batman and Joker, where they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But honestly, I will say I do favor the Violator over Joker. I feel like the Joker's a little bit played out. The Violator, he's a creep. He's a creepy guy. So Spawn's not having none of his bullshit. Spawn wants him to piss off. Violator's not pissing off. He transforms. They fight. Dope panel. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently the Violator has the ability to teleport people places. So they go through their fight. I'm not going to show you all the pages. You got to buy the book. This book is definitely worth picking up, by the way. They fight. They're fighting. Spawn can actually... Well, I won't give that away. Spawn can transform. I'll just say that. Get this book to see what I'm talking about. But Spawn can transform, and it looks pretty dope. But anyway, fast forward. They're fighting. Violator actually ends up teleporting Spawn to the middle of the desert. Now, the reason he does this is because earlier on the panel where they said that Spawn can only teleport in the shadows, his powers are actually powered by darkness. So the opposite of Superman, Superman gets his power from the sun. Spawn actually becomes more powerful in the darkness and weaker in the sunlight. So that's why the Violator teleported him in the middle of the desert in broad daylight. So now Spawn he's in trouble. Spawn is in trouble. The issue ends. Spawn's on a cross. Not a cross, but like an X cross. I guess they didn't want to offend anybody, even though this deals with heaven and hell, but he's on a cross. And that's how this issue ends. Of course, again, ads in the back. Love it. Get this book. It's amazing. Excuse me. So now, $2.95. Virgin cover. Sick. Amazing. Love it. Get this book too. Starts off, they're in the desert. Violator has Spawn's blood all over his hands. The sun's going down. You would think he would want to finish doing whatever he's doing to Spawn while the sun is up and Spawn's weakened. But he's over here fucking with him. There's an amazing 2-page spread. Love the art. You can print some of these pages out and just hang them on your wall. It's so beautiful, in my opinion. These pages are so amazing. So yeah, they're fighting. Violator transforms again. Now, in this issue is mostly Spawn and Violator doing their little back and forth. But there is a very impressive display of their powers and abilities. There's not a lot of explaining this issue. A lot of Spawn issues, I said in a previous video, are very heavy on dialogue, which I do like. But a lot of people read comics to kind of turn their brain off and get entertained and appreciate the artwork, etc. This one is one of those comic books. If you just want to see some really beautiful, ugly, gory pages, then this Spawn $2.95 is the way to go. One important thing that happens, Spawn uses his powers to resurrect. I think this is the Freak is her name. He uses his power. Now, I thought in the previous comic he had to touch them. I don't know if he set this up, if he touched them and then activated them through his mind or whatever. But apparently he resurrects the guys that he resurrected. And I guess night falls. Spawn gets his powers back. I don't know why Violator waited as long as he did. Because as you can see in the earlier pages I showed, the sun is setting. So you would think, you know, Violator would move his ass a little bit and get the job done. But he ends up not doing that. Spawn gets the best of him. And I'm going to show you this page. Rips his head clean off. Dope. Oh, and the other three. The three that Spawn has is the Freak, Cygor, and Overkill. That's their names. I couldn't remember their names in the previous issues, but that's who he has in his little basement, and he resurrects them and kills them with his touch. That's his new power. So yeah, that was 294 and 295. 294 kind of picked off, obviously, where the last one left off, gave you some exposition, some explanation of the story, moved the story forward a little bit. This issue was mostly not a guilty pleasure, but kind of just turn your brain off and enjoy the artwork a little bit. Amazing fight scenes. I would definitely recommend picking up 294 and 295. I'm gonna read 296 tonight. Possibly do a review tomorrow. And today is Wednesday. Today is May 1st, Wednesday, 2019. I went to the comic book store and picked up some books. Show you what I got. So I got the 90s X-Force number 25. Sick cover. Mainly I just got it because of this cool little holographic thing. And I got X-Force number 2. Now, I've been seeing YouTube videos on X-Force. I don't know if this is the run that I'm looking for, but I've been wanting to read X-Force. I think this is the one I want. I'm going to read it. If this is, I'm going to get issue 1 and the rest of them eventually. But yeah, I've been also trying to read Weapon X. I've heard a lot of bad things about Weapon X. So, not Weapon X, X-23. I'm wanting to read X-23. Heard a lot of bad things about X-23. Therefore, I don't have any X-23 comic books. But I would love for them to make a good, decent story with her so that I can buy her comic books. Next up, we have Year of the Villain, 25-cent comic book. Why wouldn't you pick this up? It's practically free. As a matter of fact, at my comic book store, Ultimate Comics in Cary, North Carolina, this was actually free. Got a bag and board. I don't know. Maybe it'll be worth something one day. Probably not. I like to get bags and boards. Here we have DC's Deceased, number 1 of 6. This was in my subscription box. I don't know why. I was going to get it anyway, so I'm not mad. It's only 6 issues. I'm going to read it, and hopefully it's good. And finally, we have The War of the Realms, number 3. I think this is coming out every week because I swear I went to the comic book store last week and got number 2. I might be tripping. Maybe I'm high or something. I don't know. Not really. But I think this is weekly. War of the Realms is actually pretty good. It's actually really good. A lot going on. Really busy covers. I gotta cut something out. I'm reading too much stuff. I have piles and piles of comic books that I haven't even touched. But they're so good. They're so good. But anyway, I digress. That was it. Comic book reviews. Spawn 294, 295. Like, subscribe, one punch that bell, share, all that shit. Appreciate it.